All right, so it is Rachel Britton here. We are on day 19 of 21 for Holiday Hopes and Dreams. And I decided I wanted to talk a little bit about negative thoughts and self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm going to just quickly throw up my screen so I can see any comments. So if you join for the live video or the live stream, please let me know, say hi, let me know you're here, ask any questions that you want to ask. If you're catching the replay, hit hashtag, hit it, write hashtag replay, and feel free to ask questions. I love answering questions, even if I'm past the live part. I'll always answer questions on here. But this platform is really just to spread awareness about mental health, spread awareness about anxiety, depression, spread awareness about the stress that we're living right now within this pandemic and the stress that we're living with the holidays. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about some stinking thinking. I was working with a client this week, and she had a statement that I just love, and she ended up writing this down on a Post-it note and has it in her room. And the quote is, "Stopping life is not living life." And I think that's such a powerful statement. Stopping life is not living life. And right now, it is so easy to go to the negative. It is so easy to look at what we don't have, to look at everything that's happening to us in a negative way. And granted, a lot of it is negative, but there's also a lot of positive in this world as well. And if we just stop living, if we stop focusing on life, we're not living it anymore. And we can live life during misery, misery. We can live life during sadness. We can live life during fear. We can live life. And it's really, it comes down to our choices of how we handle things, how we work through things. And so one way to work through it, there's many ways, but one way is to change our stinking thinking. Hi, Lynn. So stinking thinking, there's so many names for it: cognitive distortions, myths, judgments, black and white thinking. I like stinking thinking because usually it's stinky. I'm just kidding. But it gets in our way, right? It gets in the way of us living life. The Grinch might love it, but it doesn't help us, right? So with stinking thinking, there's a lot of different types of stinking thinking. And the one that I thought I would focus on today is called self-fulfilling prophecy. So what we know is that when we focus on something, we can over-focus on it, whether that is something negative, whether that's something positive. But when we start to focus on something negative, it can consume us. It can overpower us and be a lot. And unfortunately, right now, there's just so many layers of negative things that are happening. And when those negative things pile on top of each other, it can really get us into this tunnel vision, and we get really stuck, right? And so when we're stuck in this tunnel vision, we tend to not think about what's going on outside of here or some of those positive ways of thinking. And we lose sight of what our goals are. We lose sight of what we're in control of, and we lose sight of our own self, right? We lose sight of our own self-esteem, our own abilities. Those kind of go out the window, right? And so we get really into this tunnel vision. And so then when we get into this tunnel vision, what happens is that we start looking at the future from this tunnel vision as well. My day is not going to go well. My December is not going to go well. The end of 2020 is not going to go well. 2021 is not going to go well. You know, like we get into this really forward thinking of it not going well. Well, what self-fulfilling prophecy says is that we can actually make things happen in our future if we're looking at it from a specific direction, right? So if I'm looking, so let's talk about my morning. So this morning, my daughter didn't want to put on her clothes. did not want to put them on. She has been very particular about what pants she's willing to wear, and that changes day by day. And if it's not there, it takes a long time to get her dressed. And then my son is now in this phase of not wanting to put on his boots and his coat. So I had two different moments of my kids not wanting to get ready, and I was going to be late for work. And so we've done a lot of work around this, and I actually added an hour into my day, or into my morning, so that I could, figure out this time of getting my kids ready. But it wasn't going off smooth. It didn't start great. So had I started with that perspective, right? Oh my gosh, this is awesome. I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like, my whole day is going to be ruined. This is going to throw off my whole day. This is going to make my day horrible. Screw tonight. It's not going to work. Well, how do you think I'm going to present myself the rest of the day? If that's the mentality that I start with, then that's probably what's going to happen later on. So I get to different things that come up, and what I'm focusing on are the negatives. I'm going to be pulling out everything negative that's going on throughout the day. And you can best believe that it's probably going to be a bad day, right? What we can do, instead of looking at like what's going to go wrong, we can just say, I can't predict what the rest of the day is going to look like. It could be positive, there could be negative things that pop up. I don't know, right? Now, granted, when I went to daycare and dropped them off, I was, like still in a little, this is awful, right? But by the time I got to work, I was able to, recollect myself and just look at, all right, it is now 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I get to start fresh right now. If I go into my 9 o'clock appointment with the mentality of what was going on at 8 o'clock, it's not going to help my 9 o'clock person, right? So I had to switch gears. I had to remind myself that it's up to me to make the next moment better, right? Now, other things might happen tonight, I don't know. But I also hope that there's positive things. So by taking down that tunnel and just living each moment as it is, it allows us to live life better, right? So going back to that statement, stopping life is not living life. So if you stop life by telling yourself that the rest of this year is going to be bad, you can probably bet that it's going to be bad. Okay? Because we have this opportunity to switch things. Now, just because we switch our attitude does not mean that it's going to switch all our life circumstances, but we're more likely going to find positive things, and we're more likely going to find control in our life if we can change the way that we're looking at our situations. So the self-fulfilling prophecy, another example of that would be if I go to a Christmas gathering, using all my safety precautions and whatnot. But if I were to go to a Christmas gathering and I go into it with the mentality that this is going to be the worst Christmas gathering ever, everything's going to go wrong, I'm not going to be able to talk to people, or like I have to wear a mask the whole time, right? If I go in with that mentality, I'm probably going to have a really poor experience, because that is my mindset. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm searching for. I'm searching for all of those negative things that are going to happen at the gathering, versus just going in and letting things happen and just allowing yourself to be there. So stinking thinking and that self-fulfilling prophecy can get us really stuck in a rut. And so one thing that you can really focus on is stop saying what's going to happen. And well, I guess you could stop saying what negative things are going to happen and start looking at what positive things could happen, right? Just opening up that awareness. I mean, like, well, it could be a bad day. It could be a great day. It could be a middle day. It could be any kind of day, right? I'm just going to live the next moment so that I'm living life. Get out of that tunnel vision, because that's not going to help you close up 2020. We can actually make 2020, like we can make the last, I don't know, however many days there are left in December, we can make those as best as we can. It's up to us on how we handle each situation that is thrown our way. So I know it's quite the phase. It's fun. We went through my son is going through like the same phases as my daughter did, so it's fun. But yeah, so we have this opportunity. We can make this choice to take away that stinking thinking and replace it with more positive thinking and finding a different direction for ourselves. So again, this doesn't cure everything, but it is going to help. And so I would highly recommend maybe even doing some self-fulfilling prophecies of positive things, like, all right, this morning was rough and I'm going to have a really good day. If I'm telling myself I'm going to have a really good day, I'm probably going to shape and mold my day so it's better, right? Again, we can't always predict like circumstances, things can happen, but we're more likely going to have positive things in our life if we're searching for those positive things. So, all right, that is day 19. I have 2 more days. If there's any topics that you all wanted to hear or that I haven't touched in the last 19 days of the series, let me know. I hope everyone is staying mindful and that you practice some positive thinking this week.